This is the year 2, second year, pandemic garden here in Wethersfield, Connecticut. I just want to show you what I was able to grow in one season. This is towards the end of the season, so things are starting to fizzle out at this point. But you can see here, this is a squash that is growing out of I put it in the compost pile. Few seeds in the compost pile. It's Zucchino repagante, and it makes these giant curved squashes like this. I'm letting this one stay on the vine because as it stays on the vine, then it will turn into like a hard shell winter squash, so I can bake it later rather than eat it like a zucchini. But it wraps all the way around here. I have some arugula that has grown, flowered, gone to seed, then grown and flowered again. This is the second batch of arugula. And I seeded a very thick border of Nasturtium, which you can see these orange and yellow and red flowers. And it trails across my driveway like that, along with this squash vine. I have beans that are growing up, sunflowers and corn stalks, and then another corn stalk. I don't think I'll get corn this year. I planted it a little too late, so it didn't really have a chance to grow before everything else did, so it didn't get all the nutrients it needed, but the stalks still look kind of cool. And then mixed in here I also have Calendula, which I seeded along the border as well. And the purple and white flowers are Alyssum. Same thing, seeded it along the border because I wanted to get flowers that attracted pollinators and predators. You can see there's the length of the garden. And then over here I planted a few turnip. Harvested about 3 of them, and I think there's 3 left, but they're pretty huge. If I come right in here, you can see how big that turnip bulb is. Probably harvest that in a few days. Coming around here and back around. And then I have a bunch of herbs. So there's feverfew. There was, I can't remember what else. I have thyme down there. In the back I have the native Monarda pistilosa, some black-eyed Susans here and there, and coming around here you can start to see the basil, which has flowered, and I love it because it will attract bees and butterflies. And I had 2 cherry tomato plants which got so huge they flopped over, but I was harvesting so many cherry tomatoes. And then on the other end I have 2 yellow squash, or I should say I think there's probably 3 or 4 yellow squash plants, which are doing really well here on the corner of my driveway, again growing over the border. And beautiful summer squash there, which I'll wait another day before I harvest it. And then over here, again, they flopped over, but this was, I just planted them some seeds from last year they had harvested. These are ground cherries, and they get these beautiful little papery lantern-like fruits on them. And when they are ripe, you kind of just shake off the ones that fall off are ripe, like this, and they pop out like that. These beautiful golden yellow fruits, and they taste delicious. So hard to describe. They have a sweet and slightly spicy, almost savory flavor. There's my cherry tomatoes flopped over. As you can see, 2 cherry tomato plants going all the way across my sidewalk here. So when the cherry tomatoes were very productive earlier in the season, I put a sign out saying, please enjoy some cherry tomatoes, because I had so many, but they're winding down now. You can see the other side of this corn stalk. Again, like I said, it probably won't end up producing. If I get anything, I'll be surprised. And then some Tithonia, which is the Mexican sunflower, on the back side, which gets the full sun. Sunflowers have been devoured by goldfinches and squirrels, but there's still a few here and there, so I'm not taking them down yet. And plus, like I said, they make a good hole for my string beans. And then here you can see the other end of the squash. So like I said, 2 squash plants. They just wrap around the whole garden back to my compost pile over here that's about 20 feet long. And then, like I mentioned, I have sunflowers, and the pole beans were growing from the sunflowers. Not as many now, but you can see the vines. This was a purple pole bean that's not yet ready to harvest, but I was getting like a colander full almost every day for a couple of weeks. Now I'm getting about a handful a day. So this is the end of the season, or it's towards the end, September. I just wanted you to get a look at the full garden, see what I was able to grow in just 3 months. And this is all no-till, veganic. I just put about 6 inches of compost, leaf compost, no animal products, and was able to grow this amazing, bountiful garden this year.